Okay, so this jerky video is not going to be super professional, and I already started on accident, so we'll see. So the first thing you do is you put some sauce in there, and you need to make sure there's some water. If you're doing a dry rub, you can still do a little bit of water in there because you're going to have to add some curing salt to it. So for 1 pound of meat, this is a huge chicken breast, it's about 1 pound, use 1/4 teaspoon, really teeny amount of curing salt. You dump it in, which I already did, and then you mix it up really good with a fork so that it is all in there. This one's Jamaican jerk. I haven't tried it yet, so I'm pretty excited for this. And then you're going to cut the chicken. For cutting the chicken, you probably already know this, but you've got the big breast part here and then a little part here. I'll cut right down the middle where you see the cartilage looking stuff. So you got 2 pieces. One big one, one little one. For this big one, you look for where the grain is, where the so normally you're going to have to cut it in half because it's huge, this one, but for smaller ones you won't have to. And then you also want to cut off all this extra fat here. Okay, so now you want to make sure you're cutting along the grain. So this one, you have to cut diagonal, so I'm going to have a couple weird pieces. But cut against the grain. Sorry, I think I said along the grain. I meant to say against the grain. And you do about 1/8 of an inch slices. This is about what they should look like afterwards. Cutting it. If your cutting board gets full, you can just start throwing it into the bowl. Sometimes I have to cut off the fat while I'm going. Make sure you watch for the grain changing. Sometimes it changes through the breast. It matters to cut it against the grain to make it easier to eat once it's cooked. If you cut it with the grain, it'll be a lot tougher than if you cut it against the grain. So now, with clean hands, you take your chicken and you work it to get it all in there. Make sure you get it real good and mixed up because it does have curing salt, so it's really important to mix it all up. And then you transfer it to a quart-sized bag to let it marinate for, I would say, at least 24 hours, but it's up to you. You don't have to marinate it, but it makes the flavors better, in my opinion. It makes it more tender, too, after you dehydrate it. Always cuff the bag like this whenever you're putting it in here, because then you can go like this and you got no mess up here. That's Radcon. Radiological controls. And then it should look like that when you're done, when you're ready to put it in the fridge for a day or so. And then we'll come back later.